Hey, hey. Hi, guys. Welcome back. All right, let's go ahead and jump on in. We're going to get into a little peek at the topic of love. Let's go ahead and see where is love sitting right now. We have the Emperor. Telling you, I have had so many Emperor cards come out tonight. It is crazy. Emperor, strong Aries energy. Let's take a peek. I just did a storyline, a single storyline over on my other channel, Kate's Regretless Life. And in that single storyline, it was Emperor, Emperor, Emperor all over the place. Different deck, different everything, but here we go. This is awesome for a love story to start. Hi, Denisa. This is great to start, though, with the Emperor energy, followed by the Hierophant, followed by the Prince of Discs, or in this case, the Knight of Pentacles would be the equivalent in this deck. You can see that the Emperor sits in front of this door, right? And it's a little weird because he is blocking the doorway. His kingdom is behind him, but he is like defending it. And his door is like, think of it like the door to his heart. And you notice that there's flames literally licking off of it, but he still blocks it. On one hand, I say it's great energy because he's taking charge of things. He is deciding who he wants to like come out and make an offer to or collect, but he's also still, I see him as still guarding just a bit. That doesn't have to be a bad thing. He's very selective, we'll say. The Hierophant is him listening to his higher self. It's also, I mean, this could be somebody who's thinking, I believe I'm ready to be married. Now, just because he knows in his heart and soul that he is ready to be married, just like we see him opening his heart, but also still sitting in front of it, he is owning this feeling that he's got. He's owning this emotion. He is owning, the fact that he wants to commit, but he is now very seriously preparing his offer, very seriously preparing to move forward, right? He's reinventing the wheel at the moment, but it's because it has to be just so. My impression right now is that we have a divine masculine who has made the decision. I know who I love, I know how I feel, and I know what I need to do. I need to prepare something very important because this needs to be handled right. I have to do everything with, I have to show how important this is to me. I have to show respect. I have to approach right. I feel like he is putting together we'll say his proposal, right? Some people, the more they care about something, sometimes the more energy they put into it. Now, I don't agree with that statement because honestly, I think sometimes it's the exact reverse. The more we care about something, the more it gives us wings to fly and we just rush forward and we say, I'm not going to let this slip through my hands. It's making me brave. It's making me bold. It's making me impulsive. So I don't want to act like just because, oh, wow, he's taking quite a bit of time and thought that means there's more reverence involved. Honestly, sometimes if you want to go reinvent the wheel, I'm kind of like, are you trying to buy yourself time? Are you making this too big of a deal? Shouldn't you just get on with it? But that's, we can see it both ways. So we have a Prince of Wands. He's definitely, we got a lot of knights here. The knights are action takers, which is good. But it does say that he keeps thinking that he has to figure out how to either express what his heart says, and he might be doing some prayer. He might be talking to his totem animals. He might be, I don't know. I don't like the fact that I almost think he's planning and testing, different ways of how he could try this. Maybe it's like, okay, I could write it this way. No, I should erase it. I should write it this way. No, I should erase it. Because it almost feels like when it's a matter of the heart, I understand that it's important, but it does seem like he might be overproducing what he wants to say. And I'm wondering how that's going to translate. Is it going to come out like a script? Wow, let's just keep knighting it up. We got another knight here. We got the Knight of Swords. Okay. He's definitely testing his hypotheses. And, here he's literally in a science lab. He has a lot of thoughts. This is an intelligent, I'm going to say man. Everything here has been man, right? So, and I'm hearing that song. It's a Cypress Hill. I am everything you ever want to be. A manly man. I'll say it that way, even though it's not exactly what they say. Um, he is really intelligent. He does have a lot of thoughts, and he's trying to compress it into. I feel like this is all about him trying to find the way he needs to say something. And I know this is not a chakra deck, but we do have the green of like the heart chakra. We do have the yellow of the solar plexus, and then we have the blue of the throat chakra. And you know, swords are going to be words anyway. I kind of think he's solid in what his heart feels for sure. That's that Prince of Pentacles. Slow, steady wins the race. Consistency. He knows exactly how he feels. He's felt this way for a long time. Maybe he's been in love with somebody for a long time, and now he's like, I'm going to marry this person. But when it comes to his willpower and his passion, like he's kind of like figuring out there's lots of different ways he could do things, and he's got to pick one way. And when he's got to find the words, there's what is it that he's got to find the right words? Ooh, Two of Swords. Okay, so he might need to. This is during the winter months for sure, with the little image of the snowflake that he's, snipping and creating. I'm thinking that he's got to find the right words, is what he thinks, in order to cut through, or maybe to make sure that whomever he wants to give this offer to will understand what he's trying to convey. Like maybe he's not been good with words in the past, and he feels like that's a pattern that has made somebody go cold on him. And he needs to cut that pattern out. He can't just say part of how he feels. He needs to use his brain. He needs to use his, solar plexus. He needs to use his heart. He needs to convey everything that he needs to say. It feels like he's got to cut through a pattern here. A pattern of confusion of the past, or a pattern. Okay, so we have the Judgment card. He is trying very hard to figure out what words will get him the this might feel like a bit of a Hail Mary, by the way. As much as he wants this person, wants to marry somebody, has really serious intentions, if in the past something happened where again and again and again there was misunderstanding, because the Two of Swords can be, I don't know how to say what I think. I don't know how to say what I feel. I don't know how to convey things. I don't know how to communicate things. Communication could be a very big obstacle for him, as intelligent as he is. He may think about things only in one way and say one like sentence and leave out all the rest, and that gets him bad results. He wants a do-over. He wants a reconciliation. So I can see why there's a lot riding on this. Right now there could be mountains between them, and he's trying to bridge the gap. He's trying to make a space where the two of them can actually communicate. He could be dealing with a Scorpio, it doesn't have to be, but let me see. We have the Devil. Lot of energy of this isn't great. This isn't great. I'm wondering if in the past there was a lot of toxicity because it was passion instead of words, and that got really misconstrued, and then it became anger, and then it became fear. And this dude originally had no clothes on, and I had to give him a little pair of Speedos. So, and the only reason I mention that is because I know it's not Pan, but it reminds me of like the lusty little god known as Pan, very rustic little god. And I kind of think that there was too much passion, not enough communication in the past, is what he's realizing. He could also be facing some serious fears about how this is all going to go down. So that explains why he's taking such care with this. Let me ask this. If this person this Emperor wants to give, am I right in thinking it's a marriage offer? I mean, that's how it looks. 9 of Coins sideways. He definitely doesn't want somebody to be single anymore. She's wearing white, kind of like a wedding dress, out in a vineyard. I don't know that he's coming in to like propose exactly, but he definitely wants to make his claim that I don't want you to see yourself as single. I'd like you to be off the market. Could be a hermit, could be a Virgo that he's interested in. Doesn't have to be. But there is something here about this is somebody he has been in deep thought about for a really long time. This is usually a hermit is single and solo, but he may not know whether or not she is or is not. Here's the thing. She may be an old soul. She may be somebody who thinks very deeply, which could be part of their problems. If he sucks at communicating and then she thinks really deeply, yeah, these two need to find a new way to communicate. We've got the Ace of Pentacles here. If everything needs to start with a completely new, fresh energy, a complete and utter do-over, I would agree with that. And if that's really what he's trying to prep for, is I want a complete and different do-over. I want to show that this is important to me. I want her to understand that this is important to me. I want her to understand what my intentions are. I want her to understand that this isn't the way it was before. So did these two have a repeating cycle in the past? Is that what that all boils down to? Like a serious repeating cycle. Six of Cups, yeah, lifetime after lifetime, ending in a Ten of Swords, possibly also repetitiously. We're going to work together. Nope, it's just all went to crap. Going to work together. Nope, it's craptastic again. They may have done this a time or six. He's trying to break that cycle, and he thinks it's on his shoulders to come across as like, I have solid intentions here. Did you have solid intentions in the past, Emperor? I'm just curious. Or is this new for you? Ten of Wands, Emperor in the reverse. He did not have solid intentions in the past. In fact, he might have been pretty selfish in the past, pretty self-focused in the past, pretty much all about him, about his hurts, about his journey, about what he needed, how he needed to lay down burdens. So if he had already dealt with her, he was not a great match. He wasn't somebody that offered anything, is what it actually says. It was all about him and where he was at. And I think, let me see. How do you feel about your own reflection on how you behaved in the past then? Knight of Cups sideways. He's saying, well, that's why I don't really know that this is going to work. That's why I don't know how to come in and give a love offer. That's why I'm thinking, will it work at all? Is this something that can be turned around? Because I know who I was in the past. Why were you that person in the past? Why were you an Emperor in the reverse in the past with that Ten of Wands? You were clearly, he was trying to lay down his own burdens, but the Two of Pentacles, he's very indecisive about what he was doing, where he was going. He had not found his center yet. Everything in his life might have been up in the air. He might have blown hot and cold all the time, almost to the point of seeming like two different people. This almost feels like he was indecisive about what age he thought he was too. And I know that's a weird sentence, but we have like, a baseball cap, and then we have, kind of like a fedora or a cowboy hat or something. One seems more like grown up, and the other one, not that baseball caps are youthful or silly, but usually, I mean, little kids do wear cowboy hats, I suppose, but the image that I'm getting off of this is that they were clearly indecisive about, were they grown up enough to have like a grown-up relationship, or were they still out kind of clinging to a youthful energy? Very indecisive about who they were in the past. And when it came to love and marriage, I don't know if they got right to the precipice of that and then like full stop, blocked it and bounced. That's what this looks like, because now we got her over here crying. They might have said things and then taken them back, or they acted consistent and then they acted really immature. I mean, an Emperor in the reverse, they don't really say sorry for anything. If they're going to be moody, it's like, so what? I can be moody. They don't really handle things with a lot of respect, because again, it's all about them. To me, this says that this whole thing came full stop, though, for sure. And she was left needing to heal and move on from this, but it might have been pretty tough to do, even though she knew that this is no one to get involved with. He was, I mean, who wants to be with an emperor in the reverse? Absolutely nobody. They're insufferable. But she still cried over it. You know, it still was like, I know I shouldn't. I know that this is no good for me. I know that I shouldn't even want to be with somebody if they're going to act like this. But it looks like it was still painful for her to move on from this. And I think he knows that part too. I mean, he knows the way he behaved in the past. So, what's universe? What's your message for her then? Because we should look at that. Devil in the reverse, Queen of Swords in the reverse. The universe is like, listen, if something makes you salty and, unhappy, definitely get away from that. Stay away from the devil and things will get better. Don't move toward things that are going to bring out the worst in you either. How did he feel about her back then? Back when he was the emperor in the reverse? Knight of Pentacles, Ten of Pentacles. Yeah, she's the right person for me. Someday, way in the future, that's who I would want. Someday. That's kind of even worse because if you know somebody's amazing and you met the right person for you, but you're still kind of going to be an emperor in the reverse, let me just ask, is there anything he could have done different at that point in time, though? Page of Pentacles, well, yeah. He could have been... Actually, this actually says that what he could have done is only not tried any kind of a romance at all with her in the past and just tried to be decent to her as a friend, not tried to say, if he talked about marriage in the past and was blowing hot and cold, it shouldn't have been like that. It shouldn't have even, that conversation shouldn't have even come up. It should have been kept very minimal. The Page of Pentacles is it's a genuine offer. We see this purity, we see this sweetness, we see this innocence. It probably should have been a platonic relationship, not ever tried to become a romance. He maybe even should have tried long distance without them being in contact with each other if he knew he was still kind of in bastard mode. Possibly I don't know. This just says he could have been a better friend and a better support system to her and shown her greater respect and preserved this relationship instead of what feels like they got into it. He was nowhere close to being able to give to anybody appropriately, but he knew he met somebody that he wanted, somebody that would be amazing. But at the time he was not ready for her. But I feel like he tried a romance with her. And that's where he really mistreated this connection. That's how it comes across to me. I don't know if that's 100% right, but that's the string that I see in this. Is Emperor, you weigh in. 10 of Cups. All he can think now, because he's in Emperor mode, is she's the love of my life. She's the love of my life. She's my happiness. Yeah, but you were a jerk to her in the past, is what it says. Sorry. 2 of Pentacles in the Chariot. Yeah, I was indecisive. I was. And she didn't know if she should stay away from me and move on from me. She tried to, but real slow. And sometimes, she would still want to come back to me. That feels so... again, we already saw her, crying, saying, I know this is no good for me. I know this isn't the person that why would I want to be with somebody who's making me cry? I know that they're not ready to be with me. But it's bizarre because she was indecisive also. I need to let him go. I need to move on from him. It's because in this storyline, it looks like, it was right people, wrong time. And I kind of hate to say that only because I really don't like seeing an emperor in the reverse, somebody that was that selfish, and didn't have the self-control to not... I don't know whatever happened here. If he messed with her mind or if he... Let me just ask. If any of that was intentional, then hell to the no. No. See, it doesn't actually look like it was intentional. It almost looks like this person was so ill at ease in their own skin, had so much going on in their own head and heart. He recognized she's a fantastic person, but he's otherwise consumed with his own battles, because this is about the Three of Wands. This is something where these two were not ready to be together. They absolutely were not. This was a relationship that should have, if they were going to meet, they should have had the good sense to say, I'm definitely not ready to be a good partner right now. So I have to stay, at a distance. But for whatever reason, why didn't you? Emperor, really, why didn't you just not get involved with her? If Seven of Cups, because she's such a freaking bright star and there's nobody else like her. And in a world full of all these different people, she's the one he would pick. And it's like, what do you do when you meet somebody wonderful, but you're nowhere close to being ready for them, and your life is still a mess, and your head is a mess? Because he's confused too about, well, if I met her, then why wouldn't it be the right time? But then in reality, nothing in his life is very worked out at that point in time. It's a mess. This turned into a mess. But I can understand now why at the very beginning we saw him saying, I really have to take the time and the effort to compose what I need to say to her. I need to show up in a very solid way. I need to show up in a way that she can see I'm completely different. We saw that Ace of Pentacles. It makes more sense now. It also makes sense why he's spending this kind of like time and reverence to gather his thoughts together, because he's going to have to try to make her see him in a different light. We have a Nine of Coins, and right now she is single, loving her life. We got Eight of Coins here and kind of a tilted angle, but we see her laughing and talking on the phone and youthful and sexy and just in general having a good life right now. She's very abundant. She's in a terrific space. She may have like, I don't know, like a really youthful appearance as a whole. She could really like things like flowers and flower prints, and be like, if she identifies as a feminine, she may be like uber feminine, or have like, like silky, gem toned, clothing, and uh, just, or silky pajamas or something like that. And there is like almost this teenager energy about her, right? Like laying on the bed on her tummy, talking on the cell phone or whatever. It comes across as like somebody who's really youthful no matter what age she is. Kind of a lighthearted, kind of fun energy right now. So she's not been sitting there, weeping tears over them. She knew she should not deal with them in the past. And time has passed at this point, and she's single and abundant and loving her life. Her work could be the focus of her life a little bit. And maybe she's thinking she needs to do more than that. She might just now be ready to think about other relationship stuff. We have a Knight of Coins for her as well. She knows something is changing. She knows something. What's all the delay stuff about, though? Like, she's ready to have something gourmet in her life. The Justice card is here. Okay, so one of the delays between these two actually connecting again, though, does have to do with if when she thinks of them, she has any hostility toward them, even though if it's well placed, I'm not saying it's not, but if she has any hostility toward them, that may be producing some of the distance. It may be producing like a little bit more of the, what I remember is how they did me wrong. When I think of their name, I think of how they did me wrong. There could be an element of that. There could even be, let me put it this way. Look, she deserves to be treated well. Absolutely. And I don't even know that I support these two getting back together, to be completely honest. I'm really struggling with this one myself. But that's why I want to be so gentle in how I say this. If she has an essence of, I remember everything that was done wrong, and that's what I hold on to. That energy is going to produce a big blockage between them still, because there's this continuation of all I remember is what was so wrong, what was so unfair. So if there's any part of her that does want to hear from them, she probably has to like soften energy and say, oh, there was a lot that was wrong. I'd love to hear what they would have to say if they want to fix it with me, if they wanted to, you notice how she turned away, like, I don't care about what you have to say, and I'm sitting on this top of this TV resting on it, and it's all about the injustice. If that is still the energy that she's in, they're not going to be able to approach her. They're not going to be able to find the answer that they're looking for about how to approach her, because her energy is still very closed off to them. Now, if that's how she feels about them, good riddance to them. Let her move on with life. Who the hell cares? If she doesn't want to hear from them again, she never has to. Keep that energy in place and say, nope, you did me wrong. Don't care. Don't want you back. She can absolutely protect herself from having to deal with this person again. However, if she sometimes wants to hear from them and sometimes doesn't, because we just got the 7 of Cups, so this is kind of back and forth energy. It's all these options. If this is confusing matters and bogging things down, she kind of has to get settled in her own energy about, would you want to hear from them? Yes or no? Because her going back and forth is what's actually making this slow way down. Okay, so Empress energy comes in to play. What would an Empress do? And she's a very vulnerable Empress all of a sudden, right? Because she's in the midst of dressing. So what I'm going to say is this. At least the advice to her is, and keep in mind, an Empress does what is in her best interest for her empire. She will not risk anything that would crumble her empire. She's got good, strong boundaries up, better than any Queen of Swords ever had. She's got a good, strong sense of what she wants, better than any Queen of Wands ever has. She's also very loving, but doesn't just, overgive at any point in time. There's a huge sense of self. So again, if she pauses and thinks, considering what already happened with myself and this person, is there any way that I could see them in a different light? Because I think she already knows. Do I have the capacity to not only like totally forgive them and let them back into my life, or I could say totally forgive them or do that and let them back into my life? Or would this be all wasted energy for them to even approach me, because I will never forgive them. I will never trust them. I don't want them back in my life. If any of those three, don't trust them, won't forgive them, don't want them back, are true, then that basically there's no reason for her to even consider this person. So it would be a hard pass, even though she'd make that decision as an Empress, right? So not for bitter reasons, not for mean reasons, but just because she would know in her soul, I don't want that kind of a person back in my life. And if that's how she feels, then this is a done story. They're not gonna ever, they'll be perpetually in that phase of trying to figure out how to come back to her, and they never will, because she doesn't actually want them to. On the other hand, an Empress who actually is saying, I could envision this going differently. I've known they were a good person. I've known there was something good about them. I know they were awful at one point as well, very immature, nowhere close to being a good partner, but I saw the good in them. And if they were ever going to actually grow, be healthy, I would want to hear from them. If that is the case, then she's got to kind of think about them in that context. In this story, she doesn't have to do anything, right? This is all for this character in this story. We have a 2 of Cups. 2 of Cups does not mean that they have to get back together, though, but this does appear that there is unfinished conversation to be had with the waterfall. To me, this whole storyline says, if we were to step far enough back and forget all the mess that had happened, what we really see is an emperor and an empress finally, at this point in time, with a lot of time and space and things that went wrong between them. However, if there is still like a genuine energy, then of like, I wish it could be different. If they were different, I would want to hear from them, but only under those circumstances. So I will only envision them returning if they can come in right. Then that's the only thought she needs to project, not they have to come in right and I still am mad about this, and oh, if they come in and they do this and blah blah blah. It's pretty much like she has to be able to just envision them approaching in a healthy energy or not at all. Because bringing the everybody knows what happened in the past already. Everybody knows what needs to be set right. The question is, would she let them set it right? Does she want them to? So she holds all the power about whether or not this is coming in. Final message on this. We got the Emperor. I guess they're on the road back to her, and I think this speeds everything up. As we can see, because he's in the foreground, all of a sudden it's like, awesome. I'm racing to you. I'm on my way. I'm like an exit away. Yes, I'm thinking Kendrick Lamar, "Love Me," which I love that song. I'm on my way. I'm like an exit away. We're gonna leave that one there. That was really long. These ones seem to get so long every night. You guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me. Really good to see everybody. My soul shine. Great to see you. RS, hi. Hi, Zoe. You like that song too, RS? It's a great one. Yeah. Joy and Unknown 94. Thanks for being here, love. Dwayne Anderson. Great to catch you tonight. Okay, Sarah, Sarah. Whatever shall be, shall be. Hi, Stephanie. Sunshine. Jojo85. Nice to see you guys. Hi, Tarek. My soul shines. Mon. Ferrari. Christian Anthony. Hi. Thank you for the rainbow. Hi, Amanda. Gianna. Good morning, darling. Kins, great to see you again tonight. And Rodolfo and Eliana. Excuse me, Eliana. Denisa, thank you so much, hon. Friendly fires. Good night, sweetheart. Rachel's magic, you're so right. Yeah, challenging, but maybe it does work out for them. It actually looks like it is for them. This one turned out to be pretty strong. I was like, I don't know how I feel about this one. And by the end of it, I was like, well, I don't know. We do have Emperor Empress vibes. So Tammy, good to see you, hon. Thank you so much. All right, you guys. Sweet dreams, everybody. Bye for now.